Hey folks, today I'm going to do a video on another gun that I like a lot. It's not my favorite gun. My favorite gun is my Les Bear custom carry in 9mm, but this one is on up there. Like I said before, I like Glocks. You look at the name of my channel, it's Glocks Rock. But my first love in firearms is 1911s. This one is a variant of a 1911, but it's a little bit different. It's a STI, which is a 2011 Staccato-P. So it's the double stack variant of the STI Staccato. STI has two variants of the Staccato. One is the Staccato-P, the other one is the Staccato-C. I'd like to get a Staccato-C. It's a single stack version. Alright, I'm going to show you some of the differences in magazines so you'll know what I'm talking about when I say a double stack versus single stack. This is the STI magazine. If you'll notice, it's pretty wide. Alright, it holds 21 rounds. I know it says 20 on there, but it'll actually hold 21 rounds. That's a standard capacity magazine in this gun. Comes with the gun. It also comes with a flush fit 17 round magazine. So this one holds 17 plus 1. The other one holds 21 plus 1. Now, in comparison, this is a standard capacity 1911 magazine. It's a single stack. So if you can see the differences, you've got your double stack here, which is basically two columns of bullets, one that go on either side. They narrow down up here and go into a single column, where this is a single stack magazine. It's just a single column of bullets. They all feed straight up. So that's where you get your extra magazine capacity with your double stack. Alright, so this is 10 rounds. This is 17 plus 1, and then you've got your one that's slightly extended, which is 21 plus 1. Let's zoom down here and take a look at this gun and get some details of it, and then I'll roll in some range footage. Alright, this is my Staccato-P. The P designates that it's a double stack version. I'm going to get this one and my single stack and lay them side by side so you can look at the differences in them. Initially, the difference is pretty obvious. This is a government size 1911. It's all steel. Government size means that it's a 5-inch barrel. This is more of a commander size 1911, which means it's got a 4-inch. A true commander will have a 4 1/4 inch. This one still falls into the commander category. So it's a 4-inch gun and it has a steel frame. That's pretty much where the similarities stop. We've got steel frames, or steel slide steel frames, and now you'll look, this frame runs all the way down into the grip. This is all one unit. This is a traditional 1911. This, the frame stops right up here. All this is the frame, and then this polymer grip is bolted onto the frame. So it does a couple of things with the polymer grip. It lightens the gun, makes it a little bit lighter, and it also gives it the ability to have a wider magazine well. So you can see the differences in the magazine well here. Now, it looks like there's a huge difference to the point where this gun would be much harder to grip. It would feel much larger than this gun. In actuality, it's not. It appears that way, but it's really not. Let's try to put these things side by side so you can see them. Now you got to remember, this gun right here has slim grips on it. If it had standard size stocks on it, the width between the two would be almost the same. This one comes in at right about 1 inch with the slim grips on it. This one comes in a little over 1 inch. If I had the standard size grips on this one, it would be almost the same width as this one. So those are the differences between a 2011 and a 1911. 1911 being the single stack version, 2011 being the polymer frame double stack version. So let's set this one out of the way and talk a little more about this STI. This gun is it's a workhorse. STI came up with the 2011s to accommodate competition shooters. They needed and wanted more magazine capacity. Magazine capacity for them shaves off quite a bit of time from stage to stage because they don't have to reload as much. So STI went to the drawing board. They came up with this design, and this 2011 design has been around for a long time. There were some problems initially with some questionable magazines, and I've got some older magazines and you can tell a difference in them. This is an older STI magazine, and this is a newer STI magazine. It might not be readily apparent, but there's a different groove in the older one versus the newer one. This one's flat in the center. This one has a raised groove in it. Also, where the stamped part goes up to the feed lips, there's a sharp crease there where there's not here. There's other differences in them as well, but they've changed the magazine follower. They've changed a lot on these magazines, and nowadays a 2011 mag is just as reliable as long as you get a good one from like STI or some of the aftermarket companies. 2011 mag, they're becoming as reliable as single stack 1911 mags. But let's get to the grip of this gun. This grip came standard on this package. If you look at it, it's been stippled. I did not stipple this one. I usually stipple my own, but this one came stippled. It also came with an undercut trigger guard here and a double undercut up front. One thing that I have to do to all of my 1911s, and 2011s are no different, is I have to add or modify a few things. If you'll remember, I put wide thumb safeties on all of my 1911s, so this one is no different. This one's even wider. It's the Wilson Combat wide thumb safety, which I very rarely carry this gun, but even if I do, this thumb safety doesn't bother me at all. But this is an extra wide thumb safety made by Wilson Combat. If you'll look, there's that polymer STI trigger that I put into all of mine. This one came standard with blacked out sights on the rear, which I like. They're a square notch sight. I don't know if you can see it very well on camera, but it's a square notch sight just like I like. These are made by Heine, and it also comes with a Dawson Precision fiber optic front sight. Excuse me. The Staccato comes with a light rail already built in, and to tell you the truth, when STI designed this gun, they stated they designed it for the LAPD SWAT team. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm sure there's somebody on the LAPD SWAT team that's carrying one, but this gun was designed according to STI to suffice the needs of the LAPD SWAT team. I could see this being a viable option as a gun for SWAT members. Excuse me. The trigger on this thing, when I got it, the trigger was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. I'm gonna open this up so you can see that it's empty, no magazine, no round in the chamber, and we're going to do some trigger pulls on this. I've done a trigger job on it already, so you can't see what it's like from the factory. This one breaks in the 2s, I believe, somewhere maybe around 2.5 pounds, but we'll see real quick what it breaks at. So let's put this gauge on here and give it a couple of pulls. 2 pounds, 0.7 ounces, so it's 2 pounds 1 ounce. Let's do a few more to get a good average of it. 2 pounds, 9.6 ounces. That's more like what it actually is. 2 pounds, 12.8 ounces. And 2 pounds, 8.9 ounces. I'll do an average on here for you. The average comes out to 2 pounds, 8 ounces. So 2.5 pounds. This trigger pull gauge, if you don't pull it just right, it'll give you random numbers. But if you get the trigger pull just right on it, it'll be pretty accurate. But this one, I know for a fact, comes in right around 2.5 pounds every time I pull it. So when I got it, it came in around 4.5 pounds or so. It's a pretty good trigger. It was crisp. It broke clean. I liked it. but if anybody knows me, they know that I like to have pretty light, crisp triggers on mine, so I do my own trigger jobs. Let me tell you about the magazines here. The standard capacity magazines that come with the gun hold 17 rounds. That comes with one of these, and I believe this one came with two 21 round magazines. I know the witness holes only go to 20, but this will hold 21 rounds. So if you put the flush fit one in there, you'll notice it's 17 plus 1 rounds, just like a Glock 19 or just like a Glock 17. And then if you put the slightly extended one in there, you'll notice it sticks out, but now you've got 22 rounds in it. So it's a nice package. When I do carry it, I carry it with the 17 rounders in there, and I carry a 21 round as a backup mag. There's not a lot else I can tell you about the gun. It's run like a top. Like I said, I've only got about 1,000 rounds on it. Hadn't got to shoot it a whole lot, but I love this thing. The finish on it is not Cerakote. It is not a Cerakote finish. The older STIs came with a Cerakote finish. It's not terrible, but when you're paying the money for one of these that you'd like to have something a little better. So this is a DLC finish. DLC is diamond-like coating. Similar to what Glock is putting on their new slides, Smith & Wesson puts on their slides. Pretty much everybody uses this type of finish nowadays. To tell you the differences between Cerakote and DLC, Cerakote is a metal finish, which means the coating lays on top of the metal. It coats the metal. It's a metal finish or metal coating. This is a metal treatment. DLC, nitron, tenifer, those are metal treatments, which means that the coating is not on top of the metal. It's actually impregnated into the metal. They heat it up, put it in these different baths that turn it this color, and the finish is actually in the metal itself. So that's the difference between a coating and a metal finish. In case anyone was interested. So I'm gonna take this thing out and shoot it a little bit, and I'll come back and give you my thoughts on it. Thank y'all for watching. First run, under 6 seconds, 5.89. Speed that draw up a little bit. That's been a real good run. Staccato-P. Try it out. Woo! That's pretty quick. So the time was fastest time I've ever done it in. My fastest was a 5.45, 5.31. Fastest I've ever done it in. This gun is a running little something good. I'm gonna tell you what. That thing is a shooter. It's a shooter. If you ever have a desire to buy a 2011, buy it. I'm going to tell you what, those things are fast. Reloading them, it's like night and day reloading between this and a single stack. So I'm going to end it right there before I go any further and screw that time up. But 5x5 with the Staccato-P. Free max. Woo! 9.33 total time. 15 rounds, 2 mag changes, 9.33, all good hits. I like it a lot. 21 rounds I've ever had. Good shot placement too. Now, let's do some headshots. Pretty dang good. 15 rounds, as fast as I can put them out. That's pretty freaking fast.